Karen?
Yep.
We'll call the Plan Commission meeting for October 19th, 2023 to order. We start with roll call, please.
Mr. Cox?
Here.
Mr. Crompton?
Here.
Mr. Heath?
Here.
Mr. Orlando?
Here.
Mr. Perez?
Here.
Ms. Rohr?
Here.
Mr. Rusnellis?
Here.
Mr. Dillon?
Here. Next, are there any questions on the minutes? Seeing none, do I have a motion for approval?
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Crompton?
Aye.
Mr. Heath?
Aye.
Mr. Orlando?
Aye.
Mr. Perez?
Aye.
Ms. Rohr?
Aye.
Mr. Rusnellis?
Aye.
Mr. Cox?
Aye.
Mr. Dillon?
Aye. What do you got, Jim?
Next would be citizens to be heard on agenda items. Anybody that would like to speak on an agenda item at this time can do so for 4 minutes, but please be aware that we will allow you to speak when the case is called also. But if anybody would like to speak on an agenda item now, they can do so.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, not but the truth, ma'am?
I do.
State your name and address.
Rita Renwick, 1508 West Acres Road, Joliet. I've been a citizen for 48 years here. I'm also a member of Sierra Club and have spoken up before about the warehouses, that issue. And I'm here today to object to the annexation and reclassification of property to be light industrial for a cold storage unit. I have just briefly looked at the plans and so on, but I find it ironic that the city council the other night voted down a Starbucks because of the cars that would be idling in the drive-through lane. When I think of how many trucks we have in the city and what it does to our air quality. And this would be another instance of increasing that and diminishing our air quality in the city. Aside from that, there's litigation ongoing about road routes through the area between Center Point and North Point. And I know that one phrase stuck out in the planning, and that was the closed loop would be used, which doesn't exist. You know, I think about when over 1,000 acres was annexed and all the warehouses started with North Point. The other areas were already there. But there was kind of the public was kind of assuaged by assurances that other properties, when they were annexed, they'd come before the city and, you know, people could have a say, and it didn't sound like it would be a given thing that everything would just go through. But it seems like everything is pretty much rubber stamped in a very quick order. It may not be that way as far as staff working with the developers, but to the public, you know, it's quickly out there and voted on and happens. You know, the city doesn't have a comprehensive plan. It seems like we do things piecemeal. And what is in it for the citizens of Joliet? I mean, we have crumbling roads. Some of the routes south 53 are pretty horrible. And we can say that the federal government's going to repair roads in the state. But we all pay taxes. That's all part of what we're paying for. And so we do pay a price for increasing truck traffic, et cetera, et cetera. And I just think, you know, we're the third largest city in the state, and we can do better by having a more comprehensive plan and moving a little more carefully in okaying these things, because they just seem to be rubber stamped and there's not much question about questioning them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else that would like to speak on an agenda item? And again, no, we'll let you speak when the case is called. Come up.
You swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Would you state your name and address?
My name is Rico Campanello. I live at 24815 South Walnut Street in Elwood. I had some questions about, you know, what type of facility it's going to be.
This
But-
This portion of the agenda is not for questions and answers. This is just
Okay,
for
well, I
comments
got a
at this
couple
point.
other comments. So what used to take me about 8 minutes to get here just took me about 45 minutes on just terrible roads that we have no infrastructure for getting around here. But that's basically all until it's time for questioning about what the facility is going to be, how much refrigerant's going to be used, and some other questions on how long those containers are going to be running out in the yard because they're refrigerated and you can't turn them off. So I'm just concerned about the diesel exhaust.
Okay,
So this is not the time?
no,
Okay, I'll be back up. Thank
all
you.
right, thanks.
Anyone else? Moving on, old business, public hearing, we have none. Under old business, we have none. Under new business, public hearing, subject A723, annexation of 19940 West Knoll Road, classification to I-1 light industrial zoning and approval of an annexation agreement. A823, annexation of 19922 West Knoll Road, classification to I-1 light industrial zoning and approval of an annexation agreement. A923, annexation of 19808 West Knoll Road, classification to I-1 light industrial zoning and approval of an annexation agreement. P823, preliminary plat of South Chicago Logistics Subdivision. FP923, final plat of South Chicago Logistics Subdivision. V523, vacation of perimeter landscape easement north of West Knoll Road and South Bush Road. V623, vacation of stormwater management easement north and west of West Knoll Road. Under general information, the applicant, NP Compass Building 4 LLC. The status of the applicant is the contract purchaser. The owner is Jerry L. Howard and Heather Howard. That's for 19940 West Knoll Road. Lee Carmichael and Judith Carmichael. That's for 19922 West Knoll Road. TCIH Land Holdings LLC and NP Compass Building 4 LLC. Requested action are approval of annexation of 3 properties, preliminary and final plat of a subdivision, and vacation of perimeter landscape easement and stormwater management easement. Purpose is to allow for an industrial subdivision for development of a future cold storage facility. Existing zoning is I-1 light industrial. Location is north of West Knoll Road and South Bush Road. Size for A723 is a little over 10 acres. AA23 is a little under 6 acres. A923 is 1.5 acres. P823 is a little under 70 acres. Same for the final plat. The vacation is about 4.5 acres. V523 and V623 is about 1 3/4 of an acre. Under existing land uses, the property is currently undeveloped and there's, I believe, some farmsteads maybe there. Surrounding land use and zoning is to the north is undeveloped farmland, I-1 light industrial. To the south is rural residences, County A1 and I-1 light industrial. To the east is undeveloped farmland and rural residences, I-1 light industrial. To the west is undeveloped farmland, County A1 and ITA intermodal terminal. Under site history, most of the subject properties were annexed into the city in 2005 and zoned to R1B, single-family residential zoning for the purpose of future single-family residential development. Residential development of the subject properties never occurred, and the properties were rezoned to their current I-1 light industrial classification in 2021. As a part of the zoning reclassification process, annexation and development agreements for the currently annexed properties were amended to allow for development of a light industrial business park. 3 adjacent properties on 4 lots are also petitioning for annexation and zoning reclassification to I-1 light industrial zoning. All properties have been undeveloped farmland or rural residences throughout their history. Under special information, the petitioner, NP Compass Building 4 LLC, intends to subdivide 70 acres of land located approximately north of West Knoll Road and west of South Bush Road for the purpose of developing a cold storage facility. The cold storage building would be approximately 589,388 square feet. The subdivision would include annexation and zoning reclassification of 3 properties that are adjacent to the existing assemblage to match the I-1 light industrial zoning that is currently in place with the rest of the property assemblage. Petitioner is also applying for vacation of 2 existing easements that will not be necessary should the property develop as desired by the petitioner. One vacation would involve removal of an existing 60-foot perimeter landscape easement around the annexing property at 19940 West Knoll Road. The other vacation would involve removal of an existing stormwater management easement that is located west of the western boundary of the landscape easement to be vacated. Exhibits for all annexing properties and proposed vacations have been included in the staff report packet. A companion petition to allow a series of variations to allow additional trailer and wheeled container parking and from commercial building standards for non-standard wall materials was discussed earlier today at the Zoning Board of Appeals meeting. And that petition was approved for double deep trailer wheeled container parking north of the cold storage facility building and in the southwest portion of Lot 1 of the subject subdivision west of South Bush Road. The petition would also allow the use of Kiner insulated vertical metal panels on the building for material. Subdivision would result in the creation of 2 new lots. Lot 1 would be approximately 50 acres in size and be located north of West Knoll Road, west of South Bush Road. This lot would contain the cold storage building in addition to 211 car parking stalls and 376 trailer parking stalls. Trailer parking stalls would be located north of the cold storage building, 181 trailer stalls, and within the southwest portion of Lot 1 west of South Bush Road, 195 trailer stalls. Property will be developed within the framework of closed-loop truck network designed to provide safe but restricted access for truck trailers to the property without allowing access to the property for truck trailers from Illinois Route 53, Manhattan Road, or other municipal or township roads. An internal road between the southwest portion of Lot 1 and the remainder of Lot 1 north of West Knoll Road would be built to contain all truck traffic on the site. Neither West Knoll Road nor South Bush Road would be used by trucks operating within the site. Trucks would enter and exit the site off a planned extension of Compass Boulevard in the northeast portion of Lot 1. Car parking stalls would be located to the immediate west of the cold storage building with a separate full access provided off the end of the Compass Boulevard extension. Lot 2 would be located west of the car parking area and would provide stormwater detention for the subject site. Per the amended annexation and development agreement, a 60-foot wide landscape buffer with a 3-to-1 berm and fence will be required along the South Bush Road and West Knoll Road frontages, in addition to the eastern boundary of the Lot 1 to the east of the cold storage building. All perimeter landscaping will be required to meet the standards set forth in the city's landscape and screening regulations. The developer will be responsible for extending water and sewer utilities to the site. These utilities are currently provided along Compass Boulevard to the east of the subject assemblage. Water and sewer extensions will be provided along the eastern property line of Lot 1 before terminating north of West Knoll Road. Water and sewer connection fees and development impact fees will be required. Future development must comply with all requirements pursuant to the city's zoning ordinance, landscaping and screening regulations, and unified tree ordinance. Final landscaping plan, tree preservation plan, and photometric lighting plan must be approved by the city staff prior to issuance of any building permits. Exterior lighting on the cold storage building will be required to comply with terms of the amended annexation and development agreement that requires exterior lighting to be mounted parallel to the ground and perpendicular to the wall or poles, and not tipped up or mounted higher than 30 to 35 feet. Exterior fixtures will be cut off luminaries as recommended by dark sky or green globe guidelines. Minimize glare while reducing light, trespass, and sky glow. And that concludes our staff report.
Thank you, Jim. Do we have the petitioner on hand?
Good afternoon, Mr.
Good
Chairman.
afternoon. You swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but truth?
I will.
State your
Thank you.
name, please.
Tom Osterberger, 111 North Ottawa Street. I'm one of the attorneys for the applicant. So This, Jim's report, I think, is 100%. I don't think anything is missing. In a larger context, there were two parcels. The owner owns one and a half, 2 acre parcel in the very corner, hasn't been annexed yet. And then the Carmichaels and the Huertes parcels are about 15 acres. So when you add those two in, we're asking to annex that in so that it can be added into square off what is along Noel Road. So the berm would go the whole way along Noel Road and not up and down and up and down. And then just simply replat it from what his existing plat is now. So we have the engineer here, if there's any questions. You know, I think given the berm and the landscaping, it's unfortunate that those two parcels weren't in already, because we wouldn't be here. But reconfiguring it for this lot structure and squaring up Noel Road, I think makes a lot of sense. So we would seek approval. But any questions, we have the engineer and owner.
Are there any questions from the commissioners?
Yeah, I have a couple.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Mr. Hasenberger, is that building number 4, is that gonna be just, totally, cold storage?
The building that's on lot 2, yes, correct.
That's just totally, okay, and they say that, that there's like 60,000 to 100,000 gallons of water that's used for cold storage. Is that correct?
I don't know the exact numbers on the water usage. Obviously, I was gonna answer the council, not you. So obviously, when we're not seeking a special use for the cold storage because it's just permitted under,
Okay.
as if it were a warehouse. We like the cold storage. It has about 250 jobs that are higher paying jobs than a normal warehouse. We have about 4 to 5 to 6 other cold storage in the city area, all very similar. That's why we needed the variance for the materials. So, you know, while what this developer does is warehouses, we're hopeful that this is a little elevated. On the water usage, I can certainly find out and let you know. But obviously, the city water is the same for all of them, and it's probably elevated.
Okay. Another question I have also is, it says that, in the staff report, it says that 211 car parking stalls are gonna be available that's just for the employees then?
No, Robert, the 211 is stalls, not limited to vehicles only, correct? It includes trucks. Yeah, why don't you come up?
You got the site plan?
Hold on, Dominic, let's have the engineer answer that, because I didn't know the separation between vehicles and truck.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, none but truth?
Yes.
Okay, how many spaces do you guys have now, and for who?
The plan submitted shows 211 car parking stalls, 376 truck parking.
Is that mostly for the employees, I take it?
Oh, correct.
Okay, now the 376 trailer, parking stalls, are they gonna be double stacked?
Double
Back to
stack.
back, they're back to back, they're not container stacking, so.
It's
That's
all
what
wheeled
they're not on
storage.
top of each other, back to back,
Or just back to back?
yes.
Okay,
Yeah, down in the lower portion, Mr. Orlando.
okay,
As you know, the ordinance in the city requires single against the building, which doesn't accommodate a kind of strange configuration
Okay.
like this.
okay, also, the developer was supposed to be responsible for extending the water and sewer lines to the site,
Correct?
okay? Are the utilities currently provided by the Compass Boulevard, just to the east of Compass Boulevard?
Where they're coming from, right, Robert? Yes.
So the water line hasn't been extended yet to the cold storage building yet,
It's
right?
not in place at this time.
It hasn't been, okay. Okay, and another thing I was gonna ask also is, And due to, I have to address this to Mr. Torrey. Due to the water supply that's gonna be used for the cold storage, okay? Does the logistics part, do they pay the same rate as the residential and commercial?
Yes, it's based on estimated gallons. So we don't have somebody here from our Public Utilities Division in this meeting, but we had an inter-staff meeting. He did not have a concern about, excess water usage for this, even though it sounds like they would use a lot of water. Apparently, that is not the case. But they get charged just like anybody else would, get charged.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Would they be under a different program then?
Is there a commercial rate, Jim?
Like a commercial?
Well, it's based off a residential equivalent, is my understanding, like 3,500, you know what it is, Sean? Like 3,500 gallons a day equivalent or something like that.
I don't know the exact, but it's somewhere in that ballpark.
Yeah. And you would think like these facilities use a lot of water, but
Yeah,
not just like restroom usage for the most part. And that cold storage function, I don't think it has anything to do with water usage. It's a different freezer mechanism, is my understanding.
okay. Okay, thanks. And then lot number 2, west of the car parking, that's gonna be just a storm detention?
Correct.
Okay, all right. That's about the only question I have.
I have one, what's the I heard somebody ask, what's the estimated time of trucks running out there on the property? Do you know at all?
So I don't know if Christian who's in the business for North Point, can speak to that. There are gonna be electrical outlets for anything that has to run so that the obviously diesel engine doesn't run. But Christian, can you speak to actual trucks coming and going and what stoppage time they may have?
Sure,
as a
tell the
truck?
truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes, I do.
State your name, please.
Christian Evangelista, Downers Grove, Illinois. Question about the trucks.
Vehicles running, they said, somebody mentioned vehicles running and the pollution.
The trailers are plugged in if they need to be on, so there's not diesel trucks powering the trailers.
It's all done with electricity.
It's electricity, just, twist type outlets.
Okay. Another, because I'm just kind of curious, what goes in cold storage? What do you guys put in there?
It's protein. It's meats,
Like what products would you say?
chicken, beef, pork.
And then it gets distributed throughout the
It
country, I
goes,
imagine?
yeah, it goes back out, it comes out, goes back out on the rails and it gets distributed through the country. So it's local meats from this area of the country.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions from the commissioners? Does anybody want to speak against this issue and have questions they want to put up here? Seeing none, is anybody speaking for it?
Did everybody hear that? Is there anybody in opposition that wants to speak?
You swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but truth?
Yes, I do.
State your name again.
Matt Robbins, Jackson Township Supervisor.
Okay.
I mean, we're here again. We're obviously totally against this. This is gonna be kitty corner from a neighborhood in Jackson Township. Not alone, it's gonna put more truck traffic, more cars on Millsdale Road, which is already, I don't know if you know this, west of the tracks is a 10-ton road. How are these trucks getting out? Do we ask that? How are they getting out? They're still in litigation. I think it's irresponsible to make a decision about this when they're still in litigation against Centerpoint in the city of Joliet to get that access. They do not have access from their park west over the tracks into Centerpoint. That's where the trucks are supposed to go. I asked this question to North Point. They said, well, if we have to, we don't want them to go. We, the people in that area, which are a lot of your residents in Cedar Creek, do not want them to go east out onto 53 on Millsdale, which is how they're going now. How is that gonna get stopped? I mean, do we know that? I think until we figure these things out and let this lawsuit get figured out, I don't know how you're moving forward with this. I'm saying right now, Jackson Township is totally against this. We've been up here time and time again, and I think to make a decision about this until that is decided is irresponsible. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Just want to tell the truth, whole truth, not the truth.
I do, Ron Adamski. I'll just keep it real brief. I just wanted to put it on record that, I mean, I think there's still, once again, so many questions out there, and they've been brought up over every one of these meetings, and now we're adding more to this, and there's just so many quality of life, trucks, environment, you know, I can go on forever. Just wanted to make a quick statement. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
Hello, Rico Campanolo again, 24815 South Walnut.
Okay.
I swear to tell the truth. Just curious, this project, what type of refrigerant, they're gonna be using to provide the cold storage?
What type of refrigerant?
Yes.
Do you know what kind of
do we know?
refrigeration they'll be using?
So it will be ammonia? Okay, do we know how many tons of ammonia that will be on site? Do we know? Well, in my take, I think we should definitely figure out what type of, you know, how many tons of refrigerant. I've worked at these facilities before. There's a windsock. If there's ever a release, it's a low cloud, it kills everything. Just recently, probably October 3rd, there was a tanker that crashed in Effingham down in Illinois. 5 people died just breathing that refrigerant alone. It's a low cloud, you can't breathe it. And this is gonna be in my neighborhood, and we don't know how many tons are out there. I don't think we're ready to make a decision. I really don't. I think we're way above our skis on putting a cold storage facility right in my neighborhood. It's a residential area. You tell me all the other property across 53 can't accept this cold storage facility or be safer, I would agree with that. It needs to be moved. I don't think we can make a decision without knowing all these facts.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Anyone want to speak for it? Yes, Tom.
Please respond once. With respect to Mr. Robbins' comments about access, the access with the city is to Millsdale going west. It's not going east. With respect to any lawsuits, and the city approved the final plat. So what we're here for today is to say, hey, does it make sense to take in several more parcels and square this off? This isn't a hearing on a special use for a cold storage. It's not a special use or a hearing to decide whether there's access. There's legal access. If we ask legal counsel, if we ask Mr. Regis, he's gonna say, yeah, there's legal access with the city. If there's a lawsuit with Centerpoint in the city and North Point, this plat was already approved. So, I mean, I just wanna keep the issues here. Understanding that that there are other cold storage. We're not asking to approve a cold storage. We're asking to approve a lot configuration. Subsequently, the intent is the cold storage will go there, but squaring off the parcels and re-subdividing this makes sense. In the event, as the last objector said, that this doesn't go through, I'm assuming that this cold storage applicant or another one will end up in the park, because that's the nature. I mean, we're not gonna stop buying phones. We're not gonna stop eating. None of us, very few of us live on a farm and kill our own cow. The cold storage facilities in Joliet have been safe. They passed EPA regulations, and Joliet has passed them in the past, to be clear. So I understand concerns, and there should be concerns, but it's regulated, and that's what Joliet allows. So,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you. So, anybody else with questions or concerns? Okay, seeing none, anybody on the board?
Mr. Chairman, can I
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I have some comments to make about this project for annexation and reclassification for South Chicago Logistics. I've heard many comments from the petitioner and residents who are affected by this project. I have been totally against this project when it was first brought to the Plan Commission, which I was a member in October of 2017, being called then the Smith Farm. I feel and I still believe that the residents of Cedar Creek who are in the city of Joliet, District 5, have been totally ignored ever since the subdivision was started. The Southeast Side Comprehensive Plan of March 6, 2007, ordinance number 15819, this area was designed to be residential and commercial. This plan was totally ignored by the city of Joliet, and this ordinance has never been rescinded. Since then, 3 warehouses have been built, and the 4th one is in the future plans. Knoll Road and Bush Road are hanging on for survival because of truck traffic. Now roads like Bridge Road, Millsdale Road are in jeopardy to be subject to heavy truck traffic with no regard from North Point or South Chicago logistics. Now that this area is in the court system with litigation pending on what roads can be used or not, none of us will know what the outcome will be because none of us can predict the court's decision. With that, I would entertain a motion that this annexation be tabled until the court makes a ruling. In my defense to my motion that I made, I am referring to Robert's Rules of Order, page 179, section 14, which states, in parentheses, postponed to a certain time is the motion by which action on a pending question can be put off to a definite day, meeting, or hour after a certain event, and that event being the court's ruling.
Okay, thank you. Is that it?
Yes.
Okay, well, we have a motion that's just been made on the floor. Do we have a second to support his motion? Seeing none. Do I have a motion of approval of this annexation for all of these A-723 all the way down to V-6-23?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Heath,
Aye.
Mr. Orlando,
Nay.
Mr. Perez,
Aye.
Ms. Rohr,
Aye.
Mr. Rosanellis.
Aye.
Mr. Cox,
Aye.
Mr. Crompton,
Aye.
Mr. Dillon.
Aye.
So this will go to the city council on all these items November 21st with the recommendation for approval.
Next.
Next is Z523, the reclassification of 4001 Brandon Road from ITC Intermodal Terminal Industrial Park to ITB Intermodal Terminal Transportation Equipment zoning. Under general information, the applicant is Joliet Intermodal Holdings LLC. Status of the applicant is the owner. The requested action is reclassification of 30.42 acres to ITB zoning. Purpose is to allow continued development within the Centerpoint Intermodal Center and provide appropriate zoning for the proposed use. Existing zoning is ITC Intermodal Terminal Industrial Park. Location is 4001 Brandon Road. Size is 30.42 acres. The existing land use is undeveloped. Surrounding land use and zoning to the north is ITC Warehouse. To the south is ITC Storm Detention and Cedar Creek Floodplain. To the east is ITC Pipeline undeveloped. To the west is ITB Trucking Facility. Under site history, the subject site is located within the Centerpoint Intermodal Center at Joliet Subdivision, which has had numerous phases recorded from 2008 to 2021. Site is Lot 21 of Phase 18, which was approved and recorded in April 2018. The lot is 30.4 acres and is currently undeveloped. Was annexed and classified to IT Category C in 2008. Under special information, the petitioner Joliet Intermodal Holdings LLC seeks to reclassify the site at 4001 Brandon Road to IT Category B zoning to allow development of a transload transportation operations facility and container storage yard for Junction Collaborative Transports, a logistics company. Site is currently zoned IT Category C Industrial Park, which allows warehouse and distribution facilities. Category B, transportation equipment permits short and long-term cargo container stacking and storage along with trucking facility operations. Proposed use would be permitted in Category B. The attached conceptual site plan shows a 33,800 square foot warehouse and repair building, 542 trailer stalls, 30 tractor stalls, and employee parking. There is a 5-acre container stacking area on the west side of the site that can hold around 735 containers. Per the city zoning ordinance, container stacking is limited to 5 units high. The truck entrance is at the southeast corner of the site off Brandon Road. The employee parking has a separate entrance to the north. The north and east sides of the site along Millsdale Road and Brandon Road will have landscape buffers and be screened with an 8-foot fence. Stormwater detention for the site has been previously provided on Lot 22 to the south. All public improvements will be required as per the subdivision regulations and the Public Works and Utilities Department at the time of development. A landscape plan would need to be submitted as part of a future development plans. Development impact fees will be required, and that concludes our staff report.
Thank you, John. Do we have the petitioner on hand? Swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
State your name, address.
Chris Spacia, 1415 Black Road. I'm here on behalf of the applicant. We agree with the staff report and the facts that are set forth in the report. I mean, this is an area that is suitable for this use, the ITB use. Just adjacent to the west is a similar facility that's cargo stacking is on that property to the west. I've got representatives here from the applicant. If anyone has any further questions, we're prepared to answer those.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions from any of the commissioners? Seeing none, is anybody here that wish to speak for this, in favor of it? Does anybody wish to speak against it? Seeing none, do I have a motion for Z-5-23?
So moved.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Orlando?
Aye.
Mr. Perez?
Aye.
Ms. Rohr? Aye. Mr. Rosanellis?
Aye.
Mr. Cox?
Aye.
Mr. Crompton?
Aye.
Mr. Heath?
Aye.
Mr. Dillon?
Aye. Next.
And that will also go to the city council for final action, second meeting in November 2021. Next is Z623, and that is a request for reclassification of 102 Doris Avenue from B3 general business zoning to R2A single family residential zoning. The under general information, the applicant is John Thayer. Status of the applicant is owner. Requested action is approval of reclassification of 0.1 acres to R2A zoning. The purpose is to convert the use to a single family residence. Existing zoning is B3 general business. Location is 102 Doris Avenue. Size is approximately 4,400 square feet. Existing land use is an office. Surrounding land use and zoning, commercial B3 general business and R2A single-family residential to the north. To the south is residential R2A single-family residential. To the east is residential R2A single-family. And to the west is commercial B3 general business. Under site history, the site is an approximately 4,400 square foot lot near the southeast corner of Doris Avenue and Gardner Street. The lot contains a 1,415 square foot, one-story block building with a surface parking lot at the front of the property. Building was occupied by offices for Eastside Realty from 1980 until around 2020. It is currently used as an office for the petitioner's construction business. The property was annexed in 2002, along with other properties in the Clearview subdivision to gain access to water and sewer. Subject property was classified to B3 general business at that time. Under special information, the petitioner, John Thayer, seeks approval of a reclassification of 102 Doris Avenue from B3 to R2A in order to convert the property to a single-family residential use. petitioner does not believe the site is functional or marketable as an office or retail use due to its location. City staff believes the site could function as a single-family residential use. Properties adjacent to the east and south of the site are residential uses, so the use would fit into the existing neighborhood. According to the petitioner, the existing one-story building could be converted from offices to create a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, single-family home. Property would need 2 paved off-street parking spaces per city requirements. Remaining area of the front yard and parkway not used for driveways or walkways should be returned to grass. All necessary building permits would be required for the remodeling of the existing building. Size of the lot most closely matches the lot requirements for the R2A zoning district, which allows for the smallest lot sizes of all the residential zoning districts. The surrounding residential area also has R2A zoning. Therefore, this is the requested zoning district for this property, and that concludes our staff report.
Thank you, Jim. Do we have the petitioner on hand? You swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but truth?
I do.
State your name, please.
John Thayer from Wilmington, Illinois.
So you want to make this a residential property then, huh?
I was going to say what he said, but we'll just let him do the talking.
Any questions from any commissioners?
Yeah, I got a question. This property here, it's on a slab, right?
It is.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And the back side of it, you have a fence in the back of the
Yep.
property line?
Yep. Yes.
That's,
Yeah, you can see in the picture, there's a privacy fence. It's
Okay.
not mine, it's the neighboring
there would be the
fence.
neighbor behind you?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. That's about the only question I have, so.
Anybody?
I'll end up putting, some residential front doors on it and spicing the place up a lot more. It's CMU walls now, but we'll probably either paint them or put a stucco or some
Paint job,
sort
needs
on there,
paint
make it
job.
more homey,
Looks like it needs masonry.
You have a question?
Yes, sir. Maybe for Jim, or, it looks like the old sign is there, or is that part of the agreement to take that down?
No problem.
No, I'm just looking at,
Yeah,
The picture, the pole
I don't know
sign's
if it
gonna
was
come
in the
down?
agreement or not, that's all.
yeah, we can condition zoning reclassification requests, but that would be, that's what should happen.
I have
A
no
sign
problem
should
taking,
come
yeah,
down.
I agree.
Otherwise, whoever moves in can just say so-and-so's house.
Do you plan on adding garages to this site too
No,
eventually?
this is pretty much gonna stay the same. I think like, between the two buildings, maybe put a, pergola of some sort or a covered, just a sitting area.
Okay.
But no, I do not plan on putting any garages in there.
There's actually no room for garages, right?
Yeah, I mean, basically, that
Yeah.
property's tapped out.
You kind of squeezed in there, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I was wondering about the power lines. They look low.
You know what, that pole that's right there actually it broke probably a year ago now, and the power line, those are AT&T's lines. So what ComEd did, they replaced the pole, and then they just attached what was left of the old pole.
Onto the pole.
To
Onto the new
the
one.
new pole. So that's AT&T's deal, but yeah, I agree, they're like 10 feet low, so I'll be making a call soon to get that taken care of, but I want to get this straightened out first,
Okay. Anybody wish to speak in favor of this? Anybody wish to speak against it? Swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but truth.
I do.
State your name, please.
Stanley Dickerson. I stay at 1004 Gardner, right behind the building that he's referring to.
Uh-huh.
And my thing is, at first, it was supposed to be a beauty salon. Second, it turned into a rehab center of some sort. And their back door, the door they come out is right at my back door, and I can see them. So every time my wife or my daughter would come out, the guys that were there was hot or gawking at them like. And all I'm saying is, if it's gonna be a residential home, fine. But if it's a rehab, you know what I'm talking about. I had an issue with that. But if it's gonna be just a single family home, I have no problem with that.
That's what he's stating, yeah.
But before, it was supposed to be a beauty salon. No one said anything when the rehab or whoever the guys were out there, 3 o'clock, smoking, whatever. No one said anything.
Okay.
So that's what I'm here for.
Well, thank you.
And I've been there for 30-something years, and for him to just come and say, it's not a beauty salon, it's a rehab or
Yeah.
whatever the case was. That's all I'm saying. But if it's a residential, I'm fine with it.
Are you gonna rent this out then, sir? Is that what you're gonna do? Or are you gonna sell it?
No, I'll own it, I'm gonna rent it out. You know, and as a single-family home, the rules are that you can only have, 3 or 4 people living in the house at the
Yeah.
same time. And it's not, you know, it's not
All
gonna
right,
be
better.
overcrowded, there's not gonna be more cars than it can handle. I think it'll just be.
You think? But you know what I'm referring to with the guys.
Yeah,
And I mean, if you'd have came over and we talked,
I hear you.
Okay.
Well,
Thank you.
I will come back, we'll talk.
Any other questions or concerns from anybody?
It's a beautiful day today.
Seeing none, do you have a motion on the floor for Z-6-23?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Rohr.
Aye.
Mr. Rosanellis.
Aye.
Mr. Cox.
Aye.
Mr. Crompton. Mr. Heath.
Aye.
Mr. Orlando.
Aye.
Mr. Dillon.
Aye.
And that one will also go to city council's second meeting in November, with a recommendation for approval. Next is new business, we have none. Excuse me, next is old new business, not for final action or recommendation, we have none. And beyond that is public comments, seeing no one in the crowd here or attendance, I think we could, and